Greetings to the Makah community. Just want to report out on a recent event that the Makah Tribe attended in Yakima, Washington. We're invited by the Yakama Nation and their council to attend a ceremony commemorating the return of land that belonged to them. There was land around Mount Adams that's sacred to their nation.
Patu it's our name that we call it as, and that's our water source for around here.
It holds both ceremonial and spiritual value to the Yakima people, as well as provides resources for hunting and gathering. And so we definitely understand the importance of those types of lands to indigenous people. And 50 years ago, this land was returned to the Yakama Nation through an executive order signed by President Richard Nixon. But leading up to that event, the Makah Tribe played a very instrumental role in supporting the Yakama Nation to have that land returned to them. People like Bruce Wilkie, Ed Kaplanaho, and Joseph Lawrence, Bob Lawrence, all were vital to the Yakama Nation in meeting with congressional members and committees, in writing letters to the President, Richard Nixon at the time, and just rallying support throughout Indian country for the injustice that was done to Yakima. So Yakima has been a great ally through history. 50 years ago, the landscape in Indian country was quite a bit different. Timber tribes, which Yakima is a timber tribe, the Makah tribe's a timber tribe, were the ones that had a lot of financial resources to be able to support these types of endeavors. There were no casinos at that time, so the amount of money that was going around was mostly going through tribes that had a timber resource. And so Makah was definitely a leader in that area, along with Yakima and other tribal nations as well. Today, the reason our relationship with Yakima is important is that we share a resource together. The Yakama Nation fishes on the Columbia River. Columbia River salmon runs are a very important part of our tribal fisheries, and we work hand in hand with them to help manage those runs and manage those stocks and those ocean fisheries. So being able to support one another in these other areas just helps strengthen and build our ties. And those ties go back a long time. Certainly before our recorded history, we have our oral history and oral stories that have been handed down through generations, that the trade routes that Makah certainly traveled up the Columbia River and through the Cascades into Yakama Nation territory, and so there's a very, very long history of tribal relations between the two of us, and we both share oral stories about that time period. And so through time and being able to keep those ties strengthened and those relationships strong will keep us prepared to stand together in the future for whatever comes our way, and especially around treaty issues. Treaty issues are a very important thing for tribes to have partners and to have coalitions in helping defend and stand up for one another's treaty rights, and especially in areas where they've been abrogated by the federal government. So the ceremony, we're invited to take part in what they call the Washut ceremony, and we were honored to sit with some of the heads of their families and longhouses, as they call them. We were brought in to open up the floor for the dancing and festivities that were to follow. We presented the Yakama Nation with a beautiful transformation mask done by Micah Vogel. They will be placing that in their administration building. We also presented a battle to Jim Thomas, recognizing his presence and support of the Yakama Nation, and for Chairman Willie Jones from the Lummi Nation. We presented him with a drum that was done by Donald Parker. And so that was very special to be able to recognize, those leaderships that were there. We also recognized an elder from the Yakama Nation that does work with their youth that performed for the people at the event. They had what was called Little Swan Dancers, and we presented Patsy White with the swan rattle to use with her program with those youth dancers, and it was truly special. It just it really touched the heart, and it was a great medicine to be able to be among other natives and knowing that we're strong as our tribes, and when we stand together we can really do some tremendous work nationally and internationally. And so just wanted to report that out to the community. Some of these activities that we do often they either go unnoticed, or sometimes the community is wondering why we participate in this type of activity. So wanted to give some context to that there's a very rich history in what we do on Tribal Council and attending the different, whether it's an event, whether it's a conference that we go to. It is a very big part of our job to keep our relations strong, so that when we call upon a neighbor, when we call upon a fellow tribe to stand up and stand behind us when we need them, that they'll answer that call. I want to thank everyone for tuning in and joining the Makah Tribal Council and just your interest in being informed in what's going on. This is something new to us that we're going to work on and try to get information out to the community, and just using technology in these means. So we look forward to more reports like this in the future. Have a good day.
Ah